I am very excited to have my next guest join us. Their latest album is called Tender. It is Zzzahara.
What's up, guys? I'm Zzzahara, and I just put out an album called Tender. And yeah, it's streaming everywhere right now.
All right. Well, that's all we need to tell everybody. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, you're awesome. You know, the one thing that jumped out at me when I was first reading up on you or learning about you more in depth outside of the music, because I already knew about your music, is you're from Highland Park. And Naja Houston did a skate park video recently, or I guess somewhat recently,
Yeah.
and showed different places where he was skating. And Franklin High was one of the places where he was doing his tricks and things like that.
No way. Yeah, I went there.
And you went there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so curious. Was that like a big skater school, a skater community?
Yeah, Highland Park was big skater community, just because we had the Garfanza like skate park, and I feel like in high school you're either like a skater, like rocker, some type of rocker, or you're like a gangster, or you were a nerd. Those are like the four things. Everything was in a category, and yeah, it was a big skate community. So like, yeah, very cool time. And I feel like the rocker and skater community kind of like collided. Also, like the gangster community also skated, which was like, I don't know, it was sick.
I would think, yeah, they all mesh because there's a lot of hip hop as
Yeah.
well that's influenced by skate.
Oh man, like the music, everybody shared music, which was super cool. And like, I don't know, I just remember like you could pay somebody to put music in your iPod, and like people would like go to a guy or like several friends and then just like download music and like put them in their iPods.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, I had my own taste, so I never like did that, but like my friends like, oh, like I like paid this much and I have this many songs. It was kind of bootlegging. It was like
Yeah.
iTunes gift card, but you're paying $50 for like so much more shit, you know?
That's hustling right there. Let me
Yeah.
download 1,000 songs to your iPod for $50.
Yeah, that or someone got their iPod stolen and then people would like sell it, and then during PE someone would be like, dude, that's my iPod, you know, and then there'd be like a fight or whatever.
So resourceful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did you get into that type of behavior? You seem like a good person.
Yeah, growing up, I mean, I never was the type to like steal or anything like that. But I was friends with like a lot of people that were doing like bad like stuff. So I mean, I was involved to an extent, and like, you know, it was crazy, but I would never like steal from other
Yeah.
people.
Oh, good. I'm very glad. And obviously you made it out alive.
Yeah.
Was it pretty tough to grow up around that neighborhood?
Yeah, definitely. It was like it sucked, I would say, like because like even looking like even now to this day, like a lot of my friends, like the majority of them are like either like I don't know, dead, or like some of them are homeless, like and but they're like homeless because of like drug addiction and stuff like that, or like I don't know, I was at the gas station and one of my like best friends, like she was always like her family's tied to like things that are just a lot of gang activity, and then I saw her and then, you know, she just didn't even want to say hi to me, and I was like, dude, like what's up? Like, you know, you can talk to me, it's chill or whatever. And then we talked. She still was like in the business of, you know, her stuff. And even my friends who were in like the magnet program with me and stuff like that, like who had gone on to get scholarships or like go to these prestigious schools, still are like in poverty or like in like mad like debt because they went to these prestigious schools and like couldn't really afford it, were sold a dream that they couldn't really live up to. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Did you look to music as an escape, as kind of you're out? I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to never return, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think I always thought I was different, like growing up, like that, like I never really like let obstacles like bring me down like at all. Like I had done like a lot of the, I would say like quote unquote like bad when I was younger, and
Like
I
what?
I mean, I like got into like drugs like at a really young age. Like I started using stuff when I was like 12. I OD'd at 14. I did literally like everything. And then when I turned 18, like so at 16 I was failing 12 classes, and like I would just like not go to school. I just like ditch and like go hang out with like people and like just like get high and do all this stuff. And then I was always partying or throwing parties, playing gigs, throwing gigs. I was always like all over the place doing whatever. And then when I was failing 12 classes, I was in magnet, so like a lot of like my peers felt like I shouldn't have been in the program or whatever. And like, I mean, I would fail my but I would like pass like my tests. And so it was just like, why are you even here? You know, I was always looked down upon because like Magnet was separated from, we were all still in Franklin, but the Magnet, it was like a preparation, like a college prep magnet. So we had all the access to like all the better, you know, teachers, materials, everything. So like like my teachers would say like they've given up on me, or like they like don't think that I'll ever
Mm.
amount to like anything and stuff like that. So I ended up going to adult school. I ended up going to like Christian like church on Sundays and like Bible school and like stuff like that. And then I quit doing drugs, and like I don't know, I kind of changed my life around in this weird sense where I was going to college while going to high school at the same time to make up for all the classes that I fucked up in. And I caught up on credits really quick, and nobody could believe that I like had turned it around in like a year and a half or 2 years. Like even my counselor cried like when I graduated and stuff like that. So when I turned 18, I kind of like I ghosted everybody in like my hometown in this weird way, and like just went to community college. I went to 3 community colleges at the same time, and like worked at Urban Outfitters, played in bands, and like had a girlfriend who like came from like a wealthier family, and just kind of like I ignored basically my past and stuff like that. And like because everybody stayed, and like once I like glowed up or like started doing better, like I'd go to the bars, and every year like it's my still my same like friends and people from like high school in the bars. And like not that that's bad because it's the environment, but it's just like sad
Yeah,
to
yeah.
watch.
What gave you that spark, the confidence to turn your life around, because you were going down a dangerous path, self-destruction, addiction, and all these things,
I don't know, I would like,
especially church.
it's such a corny response, but like I mean I would say like God. Like I mean I met this guy from like the church who was like the head of the psych department at like Cal State LA, and his name was like Charles. And like he was a heroin like dealer, and like he was a heroin dealer for like a really really big gang. Not only was he a heroin dealer, like he was like also a user, and he fought in the Vietnam War, and like he was going through like a heroin withdrawal like in jail, and it was like his last day of like release, and he was just like he said like he prayed, and like the next day like all the heroin withdrawal feelings went away, and like it's like one of the worst like feelings ever. And like to hear like his story, he just like yeah, he like not only did he study Christianity, he studied Buddhism and Christianity, and like went to UCLA and graduated with like a master's, and then became a professor at Cal State LA. Not to say I was like sober like after 18. I had a lot of like ups and like downs, and like ended up going back to like a lot of the bad stuff that I did. But like I feel like Charles would always just like whenever I would like be hungover feeling withdrawal, like he'll call me and be like, "Hey, how are you? Like, are you gonna like come to church and stuff like that?" And I stopped going to church because like ultimately all the beliefs didn't like line up, like the homosexuality and stuff like that. Because I'm gay, and like I don't care about who I am, but I still believe like I don't know, like God pulled me out of the gutter that I was in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, I don't openly talk about God unless like people like ask, you know, and stuff like that. But like I feel like that is one of the biggest like influences in my life. Just like my spiritual connection, not the church, like not anybody's influence, but just like what I believe is like my moral like standard and like code and stuff.
Right, right. Well, obviously it has like led you down an amazing path in life, professionally, and giving you so many opportunities. You must be proud, but yet has it given you a sense of setting goals now, looking forward, as opposed to just trying to survive?
Yeah, it's kind of like a mixture, which is like it's hard to like get over. Like I feel like now I'm just trying to live like the chillest and like obviously like have my goals and stuff like that, but there are times where I feel like a lot of stuff in my past like drags me like down, or like it's kind of hard. I guess that's what trauma is, right? It's kind of like hard to forget all the things that I've like seen, and like it's weird, like it just like follows you like no matter where you go, but the only thing that you can do is like work on it. And I feel like my life has been like constant work. I don't know, it's hard to like, I just like don't want to end up like, you know, things that I've seen, you know, and like it sucks when like you just accept your condition instead of trying to like get out of it. And if you have the privilege or opportunity to get out of stuff and like maybe help other people down the line, I feel like that's a bold and noble one too. Like, you know, it's not as cool as like, you know, like going out doing something crazy that's like toxic and like harmful. It's like not as cool, but it's like a chill way to like get out of all of it.
Yeah. This album, Tender, not only takes advantage of your talents, but also is embodying a lot of feelings that everyone goes through at some point or another in their lives.
Yeah.
The lyrics are very universal, regardless of the gender of the person that you're going, you know, through these feelings for. And I think that's resonating with people that are listening to this piece of work.
Definitely, yeah, I feel the same way, you know. Like,
is there one that was really difficult to put on the album that you might have held back?
maybe like Dust is one of them, and like Girls on SSRIs. I think those like two, you know, because like you don't want to talk about like people on SSRIs, or even if you're taking them by yourself, it's like personal and stuff. So it's hard to kind of showcase that stuff because like, you know, like most of America be like, what the like, why are you taking SSRIs? Or like, why, you know, are you writing about that? You know, it's just kind of like,
it's very specific. People know about depression, they don't know about the drugs.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, people don't want to hear. I feel like some people are like, oh yeah, like I'm comfortable with like hearing that because like I know about that. And then some people are like, I know nothing about it. That's what loony people do. Like it's such like a harsh criticism, I feel like, in society. I feel like mental illness and like, I wouldn't say illness because that sounds like stigmatizes, but I think like the mental battles and like, you know, woes that people go through like are kind of still looked down upon, even though like I feel like Gen Z is like really comfortable with like talking about like all that and like just feelings. And like it's crazy, like I hear about other people's kids in like school nowadays and they actually like get to talk about the problems, whereas like you know, you go to school, you see the most horrific and then like you're just like sitting there with it and like you try to tell your parents and then sometimes like people aren't as receptive, so you're just bottled up with all this inside, and it's just like, yeah, that's not healthy at all. And like that's like my music is just like honesty and like in a musical way, I don't know, like.
Well, that's what's so unique about you as an artist, is the things that you are conveying in your music are the things you are truly, honestly going through and observing. And so, unfortunately, it's not that's just a Highland Park thing.
No.
You know what I mean? The kid in Dallas may be going through it. There's a kid in New Jersey might be going through it. This, you know, or know people dating someone that's going through that, trying to help that person,
Yeah.
right? And I
For
think that
sure.
your music is embodying that, but also giving them some hope at the same time, that they're not alone.
I hope so. I hope it helps in a way that's like like I guess like healing or whatever. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of songs that I play like I don't know, like all the time that I feel like are my healing songs or make me feel better. So I'm like, I hope that's somebody's like healing song in a way. Like,
Oh, don't worry. There are
yeah,
there are those songs that you make, and I'm sure you're going to make a ton more, especially as you are healing in life and seeing more positivity and nice words being written about you and those kind of things,
yeah.
right? Because you deserve it. You worked really hard up until this point. So, uh, congratulations on this album
Thank you.
and all the nice things that people have been saying. I am a fan as well,
Thanks.
and I look forward to what you have coming up. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.